Welcome to Mitchell Levy Presents, where I dive into the essential elements of clarity and credibility. Hosted by global credibility expert Mitchell Levy, today's episode offers invaluable insights to make you think and act more credibly. Join us as we explore living your values, boosting your credibility, and leading purposefully. Hi, Mitchell Levy, global credibility expert, and it's a wonderful day. Any day is a good day where I get to talk to a leader about living their values. And today I have Ed Brenegar with me. Ed, welcome.
Thank you, Mitchell. Good to see you.
You know what? It is good to be seen. Nice to see you again as well. And so the audience knows who you are. Who are you, Ed?
I am many things. I'm a leadership guy. I'm a thought leader. I'm a social catalyst, father. Um, lover of people, all kinds of things.
What tell me about dad. How are you as a father? What does that mean?
Well, I have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, and it means that I am very closely attached to them on almost a daily basis, but I'm not in control of them. And when they were really young, I decided I was going to treat them as adults so that I could have a long-term relationship with them as adults. And that's where we are. And my sons in many ways are my closest friends. And I trust them more than I trust anybody else in the world. So that's what it means to be a dad.
That's absolutely incredible. So when you say lover of people, do you have the same philosophy or different?
It's the same philosophy in that I believe that people have a capacity for making a difference in the world that is often not realized in any of the environments that they're in. There are all these various things that delay them or suppress their native ingenuity, so that they do not even think about taking personal initiative about to do something that really would make a difference. Um, for whatever reason. I mean, I think there's all these things that cause people to feel like they have to comply with other people's kind of expectations for them. And I think they need to give that stuff away and say, this is who I am. This is what's important to me. And I want to honor the things that I have come to see as the things that are important. So I'm going to act on those things. I have a way of saying that. I say I'm going to say no to things because I have yeses that are more important than whatever I'm being asked to do. May your no be a yes.
What are your yeses?
I will do things for people. I will talk to them. I go out of my way to talk to them. I believe in them and I encourage them. And it's very I'm constantly moved, touched by the people that I meet who I think are unknown by everybody except maybe their family. Uh, they have something about them that has never been identified and said, you should pay attention to this because this is really important. If you were to take this and you run with it for just a week, you would find that there's something about your life which you've missed, and now it's there and it's open, and your life can become different and be transformed into something really flourishing. Uh, and even that would be true even if they're not even looking for that. All of a sudden they see, oh, well, maybe I can go do that.
That's interesting. So you're saying that's most humans, or is that just a criteria to be a friend of Ed?
It is everybody I know. Let me put it this way: everybody I know is operating um, below their potential. Now, I don't think they'll ever reach their potential, but if you accept the premise that I am not reaching my potential today, I want to reach it more tomorrow, then it changes our perception of what we spend our days doing.
Hmm. Yeah, but you know me, and I think I'm living my potential. But we'll put that aside.
I know you do. I know, but you also probably see your potential enlarging and becoming greater as you go through your every day.
Oh, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that there are many different things that will open up over time in different ways.
That's exactly what I'm seeing.
Got it. Interesting. Huh. And
Yeah.
that's part of what you do with your podcast is you try to find those hidden gems in those that you talk to.
Most of the people that come to my podcast have been introduced to me by someone else. And the question I ask is, who do you know that you think I should know because they would be a good person for me to have a conversation with on the podcast? And a lot of these people have never been on a podcast before because no one has identified them as somebody special. But when they come on, I'm saying, "I see you, I recognize you, I want to appreciate you, I want to, affirm who you are and what you're doing, and encourage you to do it more."
Fascinating. And it's definitely a nice servant leadership way to be able to meet with people with the intent of pulling out something that is powerful for them that they
Yes,
may not have seen. Hmm, interesting.
and it's people who are not celebrities, who have no real, social media cachet or anything like that. I want people who are unknown or only known by their circle of friends.
And I hear you. I think to go through life, um, we need to be we this is another topic. This will be a fun one. We'll take this offline, but in today's world, if we are not somewhat active on social media, there are many, many different roles that just no longer make sense, um,
Mhm.
including finding your next role. So um, anyhow, so I'm going to switch topics. We're going to come back to your two boys and your daughter, and tell me who they are from your lens. Who are they, and where do they shine?
My oldest son, is very bright and, is a writer. He's a novelist, and he has written a novel about a young boy, older boy. I mean, in he's a teenager who works the family farm on a farm in Piedmont, North Carolina, and uh, he has to go to war in the Second World War, and he goes off to war, and he comes home having experienced war at its worst, and realizes that, yeah, we won the war, but we lost things. The family farm is no longer the same, and he can't talk to his family about what he experienced. So his novel is called Victory Ruins.
Hmm.
My other son is is a very multi-talented guy. He's a psychotherapist, and he does a lot of different things. He helped a friend of his who is a recording artist, recently on the audio engineering work on his, latest album, and, he knows that kinda stuff, and he plays a bass guitar, and then my daughter, is a mom, and she's doing social work right now, and, just having a great time caring for kids.
Hmm. What's it mean to be doing social work in today's world?
That's a good question. I think it's identifying kids who are at risk and finding some way to build relationships with them where they have a way of working through all the challenges that they face, And I think that's
Mm,
what she does. She builds those kinds of relationships.
nice. Okay, so you've defined success for her. How about for you? What's a day of success look like for Ed Brenegar?
Well, in one sense, it's completing things, finishing things. The other is has to do with my interactions with people. If I get to meet someone new and have an interesting conversation, I mean, I'll give you an example of something that happened last Friday. I'm working at this coffee shop, and it's one I'm in there all the time, and these guys walk in, and they walk into the other side of the room, and they set up at these tables, but they're sitting only two by two, and I'm thinking this is really curious. So after a few minutes, I get up and go over and look at it, and these guys are playing the game Go, and I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. I played Go when I was a kid. I haven't seen the game since then, but these guys get together every Friday afternoon and play Go, and I'm thinking that's amazing. And so we talked about that, and it's those kinds of moments of interaction and connection with people. And I always give them my business card because I say, "Listen, I'd like to stay in touch with you. Send me your email." And in some cases, I say, "Oh, I'm going to invite you on my podcast." And let me
So,
just say one more thing about that. The
yeah, please.
podcast is a vehicle for the continuation of the relationship. So there needs to be some kind of structure. If you want to have a relationship with someone that you just met, you need to have some kind of structure. So my podcast is a structure to get to, in some cases, the second conversation I have with people.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a great vehicle. Particularly the audience you're going after that may not have been on podcasts before. You're providing a very easy stepping stone into
Yes.
something they may decide they like doing more of. Tell me about Go. What's the power of playing the game Go and that group? What do you think they got out of it getting together every Friday to play Go?
I think it's friendship first, and I think it's Go requires some strategic thinking. And you have a big have a very it's not like checkers. It's a very big board, and um you have to be very strategic in where you put your pieces. And I watched some of them for a while, and it'll take a while for me to figure out what they're doing. Um, it was interesting. One of them's daughter and wife came in about a half hour later and sat down on the table this long tavern table I was working at, and she started playing with her mother, and she was doing pretty well. It was pretty neat.
So is it how many people were there?
Probably eight men, eight young men.
And are they playing the same game or different games?
They're playing different games, two on two, one on one.
Well, okay, with each other or just with the community, so maybe outside people as well?
No, they were playing each other.
Interesting. Okay. So here was a group of 8 people who got together once a week to physically do something, even though they were online, playing each other.
They're not online. They're all present, physically present in the room.
Oh, I was assuming they were playing Go on their computer.
No, they're
Oh, okay, so it was a physical game that
it's a
that
group of friends who this is what they do
ah,
every week.
got it. How cool is that? That's interesting.
Yeah,
By the way, the younger generation would do the exact same thing, but they would play online.
yeah.
And I like the concept of being in physical proximity.
Well, this
Mm.
coffee shop is designed for this very thing. It's called Lot 63, and I walked in there one time, and at the first table there was a group of about 5 young people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then at the next table there were 6 women who were knitting, and then in the back there was a there was a group of about 15 people who were sitting around, and they had a leader who was taking them through a conversation about Harry Potter. And this doesn't happen at any other place in town. So this is a unique sort of thing that's happening, and it's the intention of the owners.
That's pretty cool. That sounds like an interesting thing to incorporate into the Eddie events, the things you were talking about in terms of getting people together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh, that's fascinating. All right, so success is influencing a person
Yeah.
any
It
particular day. It's
it
influencing
influences other people, and they influence other people.
yeah, okay. I
It's a
don't
network theory. It's network theory put into practice.
yeah. Well, it's a very simple and powerful definition of what the word success means,
I'm a
which is
successful person because of it.
nice. What in so in the past, how would you define success for you? And give me an example or two of something you did that you considered super successful, whatever that might be.
20 years ago, I was asked to come to a electrical utility in Ohio that had gone through a change in executive leadership, and the new CEO arrived, and he did not spend his first months telling people what he was going to do. He spent his first months listening, talking, and meeting and getting to know his people. And then he invited me to come in to help them write a value statement. And at the end of that 3 months of writing the statement, we had one. The team put that together, and they decided between five, and then they voted. And they selected one of them, and then we had the CEO come in, and we hid the votes, and he selected the same one they did, and there was this visceral belief of, okay, we're going to be okay as a company. Then he took that value statement, gave it to a training company that trained the middle managers to develop the leadership capacities of the lowest echelon of the company. And within 2 years, this mid-level electrical utility was ranked the highest in the country and had been selected by Forbes magazine as one of the 100 most trustworthy companies in the nation. Extraordinary experience.
So that was a 2-year process-ish?
Over the course of 2 years, yes, that's what happened.
Yeah, okay. That's
A
exact
turnaround in 2 years.
uh, was a turnaround needed? Was the CEO brought in because the turnaround was needed or just
Yes.
continuation?
Yeah,
Ah,
the
okay.
previous executive team had been let go because of ethical irregularities in the management of money.
Interesting, okay. That's really cool. That to me is all about what executive abundance is about,
Absolutely.
and a 2-year process is very fascinating.
In fact, I
It
think
requires more than a quarter to quarter basis.
I'm going to introduce you to the fellow who was the new HR guy when I arrived there. His first day was my first day. I'm going to introduce him to you because I think you would like to meet him.
Oh, I
You
would
could,
love to meet him.
yeah,
There's a story to tell that I would
yes.
love to be able to know better. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I would say that's a great sort of success factor. Um, give me another one because that's I want to now have two back to back. Complete could be completely different. So
Well, I was asked to do a webinar series for a global manufacturing company, which will go unnamed, and this company was in trouble. It had become kind of a pariah in the public's eye, and I was brought in to do this webinar series about my book Circle of Impact, and we were going to do and four series. And between the third and fourth um, session, I decided I wanted to go meet these people firsthand. So I flew to where they are, and I went and I spent lunchtime with four of the kind of the team leaders of this program within the company, and I had known one of them for about 10 years, and so he took me around their building, took me down into the executive suite where the senior vice presidents of this department within this large company existed. We walked in, and there was this executive assistant who stood up, a very attractive woman, very formally dressed, and and was very formal to us in an offensive way. She was making it very clear that we were invading her space, and she wanted us to leave.
Oh my.
Yeah. And so there's a reason why I think there's a reason for that. And so my friend introduces me as the guy doing these webinar series. And then I had this conversation with her. I said, "So tell me how long you've worked here." She says, "I'm 48 years old and I started when I was 20." And I said, "You must love this place for you to be here all this time." And and she and she didn't really respond to that. And I said, um, "I want you to know that I see people like you as the bedrock of the company. That what people know of this company, truly know of this company, is because of people like you. It's not because of your executives. You're the long termers who make the company great. They're the short termers who will extract wealth from the company and move on to their next thing." And then I said, "I want you to understand this is what I see, that there is a persistent residual culture of values that persists because it resides in the relationships of the people. That's what I see you telling me about why you're here, that you've been here for 28 years, and that's why you love this company." And her her hard shell demeanor totally left her, and she
Ah,
melted into her seat as if, okay, finally someone recognizes what we all know, that this is a great company and we're just suffering because we have really bad leadership.
so cool. All right, but so first, you made a decision to see them in person. They didn't ask you.
That's right.
Okay. And that was something you probably did on your dime.
That's right.
Okay. So what changed between the third and fourth session as a result of you having that experience?
It didn't change anything
No?
because the sessions were, and I didn't know that when I started, it really didn't allow for much interaction because there were about 75 people who were on the call, and none of it was visual. So I was just talking to a blank screen.
Oh, no. Okay, so it was
It was subpar,
yeah,
suboptimal for actually engaging with people.
I love that. So, different question then. Did you ever take an assignment like that ever again?
Yeah, but yeah, of course I would take another assignment like that because you never know what will come from it. I, and I would make sure that there was a way for us to have more interaction because there needs to be a interaction. This needs, everything's personal and relational in these contexts. So, yeah, of course, I would take another, but I would also be very clear about what my expectations were for the way the thing gets set up.
Nice. Well, so you wouldn't take an assignment where you were basically just a broadcast vehicle. You would only take the assignment if you could make it so it was more engaging, more interactive, more effective in terms of the message that needed to be shared and lived.
This was an in-house kind of Zoom call type of thing. And so I would say, well, if we're going to do this, why don't we do this as a live call in, a live thing then we could do it, over LinkedIn like you're doing here, or some other way of doing it, and some more people can take part in this, and it would be beneficial to your people and to the people outside the company. Because what I have to say is not germane specifically to anything about your company, because you haven't told me anything about that, and you don't want me to actually talk about that because that's stepping on toes in many respects.
So what happens when you have a client that they're really not coachable or vulnerable, and they're just doing it because they're putting lipstick on a pig, an expression we often like to use. Um, do you still go in with the hope that you're going to break through in some way?
It depends on if I see it before I agree to go. But if I don't see it before I go in, then I'm very direct and transparent. So, like with that first example I told about the utilities, um, I said that I told the CEO, I says, I want to interview all your executive team, and I want 90 minutes with each of them, which is extraordinary. So the 90
That's
minutes,
amazing. By the way, that's an amazing amount of time to be able to get for a 360. Perfect. Right.
but you know what happened? Is that, they gave me all the standard answers for the first 60 minutes. The last 30 minutes were phenomenal, and I learned a lot, and they learned a lot, and, and we learned who was doing well and who wasn't doing well as a result, and, so yeah, uh, that's what I would ask, if I was asked to do that, I would say, "I want 90 minutes, and I want to be as relaxed as possible, because I want them to be honest with me, and, and some are not honest. So,
Fascinating. Fascinating. Very
and
cool.
sometimes the CEO is not honest, but
Oh, unfortunately, many times.
they're but I don't blame them so much as I see them trapped in a system where honesty is not rewarded and lying is rewarded.
I 100%. What I often say is many times you run across somebody who is acting dubious, but they're not acting dubious because they're dubious as a person. They're acting dubious because that's how they were taught to act.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
it is.
Yeah. Hey,
So
so listen.
the
Oh,
other the other thing I would say is if I got
uh-huh.
into the middle of it and I felt like the CEO was not going to do anything with what I was going to share with them, I'd probably fire him. I'd probably quit the project and move on.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for that addition. Listen, if you are listening or watching this and you say to yourself, I got to reach out to Ed. I may want him on my team. I need to learn more. I need to know his podcast or whatever it might be. You have an interest. Ed, what is the best way for people to reach out to you?
The best way is just to email me, and it's ed@edbrenegar.com, and Ed Brenegar is spelled EDBRENEGAR. It's ed@edbrenegar.com.
Thank you. I think I said your name two times and they were both wrong. So I'll just say your first name because Ed's very easy to get. So, Ed, thank you for being kind.
I
So,
didn't I didn't notice. I didn't notice.
well, I asked up front, and then you gave me a, explanation, and then I'm not sure. Anyhow.
Hey,
So, Ed, based on this conversation, um, is there a question that you would have liked me to ask, or is there a question you'd want to ask yourself so that you can give the answer to it?
I think the question that you should ask is whether people should have an expectation that they can change their life, um, by by their own choice and not be forced into it by circumstances.
Ooh, ooh, that's a great question. Okay, uh, consider it asked.
I think most of us find that we are kind of captured by systems and the structures of the world we live in. And it is very difficult to see ourselves as separate from that. But when we can see ourselves as separate, then we can say, I want to make a change. And I mean, I see this happening all the time. In the first chapter of my book, Circle of Impact, I write about a man named William who finds himself having spent 25 years working in a job in a corporate division, and all of a sudden the company is sold to a global company, and they're going to move his department overseas, and he's not in the position where he can take his family and go overseas. He's got children at the high school, and he's got two sets of parents who need attention. So he leaves the company and realizes that he does not have his own set of values. He's incorporated the company's values as his own, and now he's alone. He's out on his own, and he has to figure out what he believes about himself and what he wants to do with his life. So what do? You test things, you try things, you go talk to people, you ask people, who do you know that you think I should know? And because I need to have a conversation with someone who's been through this before. I mean, this is, you work your network and you try to understand where you are, what your situation is, and how you can make some changes that advance you instead of put you in jeopardy.
I love ideas and thoughts like that are super simple. It's absolutely not easy because otherwise more people would do it.
That's right.
And to take control of your life and be the person you were meant to be and add value to others the way you were meant to add value is an important aspect, whether you learn it today or tomorrow or already know it. Ed, thanks so much for joining me today, and God, what a cool conversation.
As always, thank you, Mitchell.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, listen, for those who are here, this is now your turn. This is your turn to actually spread cred dust on Ed Brenegar. So if there is an idea you heard, a thought, an aha moment that you want to share it in your social media platform that makes sense. Please tag Ed, tag me, and we'll share it. And anyhow, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you on the next episode of Leaders Living Their Values. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in today's episode. Like, subscribe, and share your aha moments on your preferred platform. Remember, credibility starts with clarity and living your values. Learn more at mitchelllevy.com. Until next time.